Hello, welcome to the Mangahigh live lesson on counting in sixes and counting in sevens. Now, if you tried to log in at 9:30 this morning, apologies for the quality of the sound. I don't think anyone was able to hear me. Hoping that that's now fixed, and we'll be starting the lesson at 10 o'clock this morning. That's in 3 or 4 minutes' time. If you're already tuned in, then can you log into Mangahigh and get a pen and paper ready for the session. And we'll start in a few minutes. Thanks. So hopefully starting in just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, I think we're all ready to go. It's 10 o'clock. Thank you for all those who are staying with us and trying to have another go at this. Okay, so I'll take you through the steps. The first thing you need to do is to make sure you log into Mangahigh, and I shall go through how to do that in a few moments. The second thing is to make sure you've got a pen and paper ready. So let's look now at how you log into Mangahigh. Okay, so first thing you need to do is to search for Mangahigh, then go on login and put in your details. That's your user ID and your password and your school ID. And if you're at Eastbourne Primary, then your school ID is 135984. Okay, so I'm just going to go through then how exactly you do that. So go to Google, search for Mangahigh, and when you've done that you can click on Mangahigh just here. Then go to login. You can see that here in the top right corner. Then you can put in your details. So you'll need a user ID. I'll put mine in here. Then you'll need your password, and then you'll need your school ID. And if you're at Eastbourne, it's 135984. And then click Done, and then you'll be logged in and you'll be able to go to the activities that we're going to be doing today. Okay, anyway, I can see those here, counting sixes and counting sevens. They're the two activities we're going to be doing today. Okay, let's give us a few moments. Let's check a couple of things we need to check. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to think about the activity that we're going to be trying, and this is count in sixes. Okay, so what I'd like to do is to start to think about the numbers that are in the pattern when we count in sixes. So I'd like you to write these down on your paper, and starting with 6, then adding on 6 more, 12, and I'd like you to keep going until you get to 60. Now, I'm going to take my time and write them out. See if you can finish before me. So 6, 12, add on 6 more. That makes 18. And keep going until you get up to 60. Now, by writing these out, this is going to help us in the activity we're going to be doing today. So hopefully you're writing out your pattern of counting in sixes. Maybe you're a little bit ahead of me. And so I've written out my pattern of numbers counting in sixes. Okay, so we're now going to look at some of the maths questions that you're going to be trying on Mangahigh. So now let's have a look at some of those questions. Okay, so we're going to start with then counting in sixes. So we're going to start with some easy questions to begin with. So we're going to start at the easy level. So these questions are just to get you going. Okay, let's look at some. Let's look at this first one here. This number sequence is counting in sixes, and we can see part of the pattern just here, 18, 24, 30, and we're trying to find the missing number just here. Well, we've already got a line underneath to help us to count in sixes, or we could use the line, the number line we've already written out on our paper. 18, then 24, then 30, and we can see that the missing number must be 36. So I'm just going to select 36 as my answer and click Submit. And I've got the question right. So we've got one easy question correct. If we get 2 more easy correct, we'll then move on to the next level, the medium level. Okay, let's look at this one. Similar sort of question. This time it's starting at 36, and we're looking for the next number counting in sixes. And we can see the other ones going in here as well. So the missing one must be 42. Okay, so let's choose the answer, 42, and click Submit. So we've got 2 easy questions correct now. Let's see if we can get one more correct. Okay, a different sort of question this time. Let's see. Oliver starts at the number 6. He then adds 6 more. Well, we haven't got the number here on the number line to help us. So we could look at our paper to see what comes next, or we could count on with our fingers, starting at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's pick the next answer which is 12. Now, remember, these are the easy questions. They just get you going. If you can do the easy questions, it doesn't mean you really understand it. You've got to do the next level and the next level after that to prove that you can really understand this. So now we're on to the medium level questions. All right, let's look here. Jack has £48. He spends £6, so we're taking away some of his money, taking away £6. Which one of these shows how much he has left? So we're really doing 48 and we're subtracting 6. Now, we could use our list of counting in sixes that we've done on our paper, or we could count backwards on our fingers. Starting with 48, let's take away 6. 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42 when we take 6 away. Okay, so that's 42. Now, remember, we're only working at the medium level here, these medium level questions. We are going to need to get to the next level, to the hard level, and do well at those to get a medal, to pass the activity. So you've got to go from easy to medium and get to the hard questions and do well at those to get a medal. And that's quite tough. This is still our first go. And when we've done 10 questions, we'll have had one go. It takes most people 3 goes, that's 30 questions, to get a bronze medal and pass the activity. So make sure you don't give up. Okay, let's look here. Oliver has £72. He spends £6, so we're taking away 6 more. So we're doing 72 and we're subtracting 6. Now, 72 might not be on your list that you've written out. Maybe you only wrote it out to 60. So maybe we use our fingers again, counting from 72 backwards. 71, 70, 69, 68, 67, 66. Okay, that's got our answer now, 66. Let's look at one more question and then it's going to be over to you. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Mohammed has 9 bags of pens. Okay, what's in each bag? Well, there's 6 pens in each bag. And the question is, how many pens? Well, if you're good with your times tables, you could do 6 lots of 9 or 9 lots of 6. But you might not know your times tables too well for the 6s and 9s, so you could just add on lots of 6s, and we can see that's what's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lots of 6s, and we can see them being added on all the way here. So really, we just need to know what this next number is here, after 48. And if we count on in 6s, we'll get the answer. 6 more is 54. Okay, so we can put the answer in now. Let's do that. The answer is 54. Okay, we did the easy questions, we did the medium questions. Well, now you'd be on to the hard questions. It's these ones you've got to be able to do to get a bronze medal. So I'm going to stop there, and the next instruction that I'd like to give you is that you need to try to get a medal on the counting in 6s activity. Now, if you can get a bronze medal, that's really good. If you can get a silver or gold, well, that's great. That's even more than I would hope for. If you do get a medal, then you can try a new topic that's called Count in 7s. Now, you should be able to find these activities on your list. So when you're logged in, you should be able to go straight to the activities on Count in 7s or Count in 6s. If you can't find them for any reason, you can go to Browse over here and then search for them by just typing in the search option Count in 6s, and you'll be able to find the activity. Okay, I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to give all of you 12 minutes to have a go at the Count in 6s activity. And remember, if you manage to get a medal on that, you can try the Count in 7s. Okay, So while you're working on that, I'm going to try some more questions myself and work through those. But you can turn the sound off if you like, work on the questions yourself separately, and I'm going to work now on some more of the count in 6 questions for the next 12 minutes. So go off YouTube, back onto Mangahigh, and try some of the count in 6 and count in 7 questions. Now, if you're not able to log into Mangahigh and you can't try the questions, then you can always stick with me and I'm going to work through how to do some of the questions here. Okay, so first thing is I'm looking for the missing number just here. So something, take away 6, makes 36. So I need to start with something bigger than 36, just in here. Now, there's a few different ways to do this. If I think of the numbers in the sequence of numbers that count up in 6s, 36, the next one is 42, and the next one is 48, and this goes up in 6s this way, and down in 6s this way. So I'm looking for something I can start with so that when I take away 6 I get 36. Well, that's just here. If I take away 6 from 42, I'll get 36. So the missing number must be 42. Okay, let's look at this one. Something take away 6 makes 48. Okay, so if I think about the numbers sequence, 48, what comes after that? Another 6 on is 54, and another 6 would be 60, and it keeps going. And if I put part of the sequence going backwards, 42, that's just a bit of the sequence there. So I want something, when you take away 6, you get 48. Well, if I start with 54 and take away 6, I would get 58. Oh, so the answer must be 54. Okay, so something else take away 6 is 60. Well, in this one, I'm trying to think of something I could start with, something bigger than 60. Now, there is another way to do this. If I work this backwards and think of 60 is my answer, let's just redo that again. 60 is the answer. Something I start with, I am subtracting 6, and then it turns into 60. If I want to work backwards, I could start with 60. Now working the other way, what we call in maths the inverse, or going back the other way of taking away 6 is add 6. It's what you do to go backwards. Well, that means the answer must be 66. So I've kind of done the question backwards. So there's my answer, 66. Now I'm on some really difficult questions. So now I've got up to the extreme level just here. So now the questions are even more difficult, and here's where you could get a silver or a gold medal. Let's have a look at this one. So George counts in 6s. Well, there's 2 missing numbers here, and we've got to try and find them. Is it going up or is it going down? Well, it starts with 102, there's some numbers that are missing, and then 120 and 126, so it's going up. Okay, so we'll need 6 more here. And then we'll need to add on another 6 just here to help us to get these 2 missing numbers. Well, they look like big numbers, but if we just forget about the 100 bit for a moment, so sort of don't worry about the 100 bit and just think of it like a 2, and just think of this like a 20 and like a 26. If we don't worry about the hundreds, then it might be a little bit easier. So we could just think of this like 2 add 6. Well, that's 8. And then add another 6. Okay, let's try that. So it is 100 and something, but if I just add the 2 on, it's 108. And then it is 100 and something. If I add 6 on to 8, I get 14. And then I can submit my answer. Well, that's my 10 questions. And because we got them all correct, we got a bronze medal. So we've done pretty well. If we want to keep going, we could try and get a silver or a gold medal, but to do that we'd have to do well at the extreme questions. So I'm going to have a go at some of those. Hopefully you've been able to log in and to your own Mangahigh account and try the questions yourself on counting in sixes so that you can earn a medal. So let's have a look at this extreme question. Okay. What is the missing number just here? Well, this is going up in sixes, I think. Let's see, 144 or 44 add 6 is 50. Yep, looks like it's adding 6 on. And I think it's adding 6 on every single time. Here as well. Adding 6 more? Yes. So all we need to do is make sure we're still counting in sixes. So we need 26. Or if you like 126, and we need to add 6 more onto that. Well, you could count on your fingers, but if you're not feeling too confident, then you can always add in columns. 6 add 6 is 12, and then I've got 3, and then I've got 1, and I've got 132. Okay, let's put that answer in. Okay, what's next? Aha, so another sequence here. Okay, hopefully you're getting pretty confident with this now. We can add 6 more on here, and so it's really just 8 add 6. And we can make sure we put the 100 in as well. 8 add 6 is 14. Okay, let's put that in. Oh, careful, 114. Let's see what's going on here. Noah counts in sixes. There are 2 missing numbers. Fill in the missing numbers. Well, this starts with 20 or 120, and if I put 6 more on, I'm going to get 26. Or if you like, think of it still as 126. That will be the next number in the pattern. And then I'm going to need another 6. So let's add on 6 more. Two, carry 1, 3, and 1. 132. So I can now put in my 2 answers. Okay. Now we've got another about 3 minutes for you to keep working on the counting in sixes activity. So I'll answer a couple more questions and then we'll go back. Okay, let's see Oliver's counting in sixes. What are his missing numbers? Okay, so I've got 84, and then I want to add on 6 more onto that. Of course, I could do this by counting on my fingers. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. That would work. Okay. 90 here, and then 96 just here. So let's have a look at this. Make this our last question before we go on to the last part of the lesson today. So let's see, there are 120 children having lunch in the dining room. 6 children at each table. All the children from 3 tables leave the dining room to go out and play. How many children are left? Well, if we think of a table, here's a table, and there are 6 children at each table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's just at one of the tables. Okay, so there's 120 children altogether. 120. So it says here that all the children from 3 of the tables leave. Well, there's 6 children at each table. Well, if I have 3 of these tables, I'll have 3 lots of 6. That's 18. 6 add 6 add 6, or 3 lots of 6 is 18. So 18 children leaving. So we've got to take away 18 children from 120. Well, there's lots of different ways to answer this, but the correct answer is 102. I like to just think of 20 take away 18 and worry about the 100 at the end. 108. There's my answer. Oh, I made a mistake. I think I should have had the answer 102. Oh well, I've got my mistake made today. Hopefully you didn't make too many mistakes. Okay, so we've got about 7 minutes left before we're going to finish. And we're just going to return to the YouTube. So hopefully you've had your 12 minutes of practice and you've come back to the YouTube live lesson. So the last thing I'd like you to do in the last few minutes is to try one of these questions here. So there are 3 questions. You can try any one of them. If you get time, you could try a couple. I'm just going to give you maybe 3 or 4 minutes to try. The first one is perhaps just a normal question. So the first question here, normal question just here, is what are the missing numbers? You can see there are 3 missing numbers here. Can you find them? That's the normal question. If you could do that one, then you've learned how to count in 6s. The next question, if you want to do that one instead, is a hard question. How many numbers are missing in this pattern? It starts with 21, then goes to 28, then there are lots of numbers missing, and then it ends with 77. So how many are missing? That's a hard question. Or if you want to try the strange question at the bottom, you have to find the next number in this pattern. So take 3 or 4 minutes now and try one of these questions. I'm going to just stop talking for a few moments and give you a chance to try, and then I'll give you the answers. So take another minute and see if you can find the answer to one of the questions, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, so let's see if you got any of those answers correct. So if you went for the normal question, we're looking for the missing numbers just here. Add on 6 more, it's 36. 36. There we go. And then add on 6 more here, it's 54. And then add on another 6, and the missing number is 60. Okay, so that was the normal question. Hopefully, if you did that one, you got it right. Now let's look at the hard question. We're looking for the missing numbers in this pattern. Well, there are quite a few. What's it going up by, first of all? Well, it's going up by 7. Every time it's going up by 7. Okay, well, there's a few different ways to answer this question, but one way is to simply write out all the numbers. So after 28, going up in 7s, it's 35. Then it's 42, going up in 7s every time. Then it's 49. Hopefully I'll get to 77 soon. Then it's 56. Okay, we're getting there. 56. And then 7 more is 63. And then finally it's 70. And the next one would be 77. So how many numbers are missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 numbers missing. Now, there are other ways to do this. You could think of this using times tables. So 77 is 7 times 11. And if we think of 28, this is 7 times 4. So some of the 7 times tables are missing. Which ones? Well, 5 times 7, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 times 7. They're the ones that are missing. So there's 6 numbers missing. So you could think of the times tables and which ones are missing. Everything between 4 times 7 and 11 times 7 are missing. Well, that's quite a hard question. And finally, the last thing for today is the strange question. What's the next number? Now this is quite an unusual pattern. Hopefully, if you did this one, you spotted something. It's gone down by 7, subtract 7, and then what happens is it adds 6. What next? Well, it goes down by 7 again, and then adds 6. And this pattern is repeated over and over again. Take away 7, add 6. Take away 7, add 6. Take away 7, add 6. So the next number, hopefully, if we think the pattern continues, it will be subtract 7. Well, if we take away 7 from 75, we get the answer 68. So hopefully, if you did try this strange question, you got the answer correct. 68. Well, that's the end of today's lesson on counting in 6s and counting in 7s. There's going to be another lesson at 11 o'clock this morning for the Year 5 and 6 students at Eastbourne Primary, and I'll look forward to running the lesson then. If you're in Year 3 or 4 and you want to tune into that lesson as well, then that's absolutely fine if you'd like to do that. No problem. You could always see what the older students are doing. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Thank you very much. This has been just a test from Mangahigh to see how these kind of lessons might work and if they're successful. So please do let your teachers know how easy it was to learn and follow the lesson. So hopefully we can improve and do better in the future and maybe do this for lots of students at other schools as well. So thank you very much and goodbye.